bowling till I get off work. And then I was,
Yeah.
geez.
As soon as you relax, holy fuck.
Yeah, it sure you can feel it about twice what you do through the day.
Yup.
I used to feel myself seizing up at
Yeah, I get that.
later in the night.
Yup, stiff.
Yeah, extremely.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to
Rigor
work that
mortis is
last
that.
day that I worked,
Yeah.
the fucking boss said, okay, somebody's got to shovel all these fucking chips away from the fucking lathe, eh? And there was a huge pile, and the guy that does that had an operation on his foot for a foot infection, so the boss said, somebody's got to do it, and it's your machine, so you do it. And I said, geez, if I do that, I'll be off work tomorrow because my back won't handle that shit. So I shoveled it, and I had it planned, okay, I'll shovel it, and tomorrow I'll come in and I'll report the fucking back problem to the union, to the boss, to the whole 9 yards, and do it legally.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like 3
So I
months
took
off
that-
or something, didn't you?
I got a year off.
He got
and then-
paid for the rest of his friggin'
Yeah.
working career.
And then,
Yeah.
as soon as I took that off, a year later, Workman's Comp sent me a letter saying, that's it for you. You know, you've done the year, and that's your last check.
Yeah.
So I said, well, no, that's not right, because my back is fucked.
Yeah. I would have had a
And they
career. I
said,
could have worked for another
that's
20
too
years.
bad. You got to get light duty. You go get a job and, you know, like go out west or move, you know, sell your house and move. And I said, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been laid off, so I went back because I was in the union. And
Yeah.
I said to the union, which were guys that worked in the machine shop,
Yeah.
I said to those guys, I need the union to pay for a lawyer because I got to fight Workman's Comp.
Yeah.
Voted
Done.
in, no problem. They were all fucking from the machine shop, all my buddies,
Yeah.
eh?
Yep. So they knew that it, you
Yeah.
know, you're skilled. Like, you shouldn't have to give that up because it's something that happened because of the work that you did. They
That's
should have
right.
had a comfortable
I went
stool
in that
for
day and I got a report from the union, from
Yeah.
the boss, from everybody, and it was all legitimate and
Yeah.
perfect. Eh?
No, it's good.
So the union hired a lady and she fought for me, and 3 months later, after I was in debt right to my eyeball because they cut me off, they sent me a letter saying, yeah, okay, you're gonna get back on the Workman's Comp. Like my doctor said, you gotta go to a specialist and have him put down that it's a permanent injury.
Mm-hmm.
So that Workman's Comp has that, and you have it on your record.
I got one of those too.
So they sent me a letter saying, yeah, you won your claim. You'll be back on Workman's Comp. Well, 3 months later, I never received fuck all.
Mm.
So I went back to the fucking,
Union.
no, I went to the member of parliament with my letter stating that they were going to put me back on and do retraining. And he phoned them up and he said, yeah,
You're eligible.
you'll have a
obligated.
check in the mail tomorrow.
Cool.
And then I went back home and I was happier than a pig in shit. And guess what? What was in the mailbox? My severance pay from working at Stevens Adamson, $860.
Nice.
And then I come in, after I bought a case of beer, of course,
Yeah.
I
Boss
come in,
check was there.
and the phone rang, and it said, Oh, this is Ontario Disability calling.
Yeah.
Your application for disability for Heather has come through, and we have a check here for Heather for $17,000. $17,864.
Back to the beer store.
Off to Belleville before the beer store. I ain't drinking and driving.
Before they change their mind.
Yeah, and she went in, she took her ID in, and they gave her the check. We took the check to the bank. I paid Mama back $5,000. We hired a guy, Grauberg, to do the roof. Heather sent fucking $2,000 to her mom. Check came in the mail from Workman's Comp the next day. So we bought like 3 cases of beer.
It's amazing how fast they come across once you hit them with the government.
Yeah. We went right to the poverty to the rich.
Yeah, I did the same thing, basically along the same lines, and it worked.
Now you're living large.
Put up with all the garbage first, and then once you were in there, zoom, you're good. At least ways it was for me.
I wonder how long before they're gonna have basic universal income, where everybody gets enough to get by automatically.
They do that in
Alaska, Norway.
the Dutch,
Yep.
Holland,
Mm-hmm.
because of the dams. Everyone, even janitors, are a millionaire. Eh?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they can live like that because they all of everything is covered basically. They get enough money from the government, and they're making robots that are like humanoids, like in the movie I, Robot. Those robots are fucking real. Like they're being released, and so that's coming. Like them just walking down the street with everybody else.
They've been doing that with nanotechnology for years.
Yeah. Well, these are cool. They move like people because they use balloons that are inside of, like, the mesh that you put over wires that when you push it together it gets big, and when you pull it apart it gets small, like the finger trap things. Well, they got balloons inside of those, and they can inflate the balloon and it makes it shorter, and they can deflate it and it makes it longer. Right? So they're using that to make muscles that are like human muscles, and because they're done with air like that, like if this robot squeezes you, it doesn't hurt you,
and it improves in circulation and the whole works.
Yeah, well, it's a robot arm. Like that's how they make the muscles.
Because I saw David Suzuki thing, and he was a paraplegic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were taking people with robotics. You could use your mind
to move it.
To move, and you could get up off your ass and walk and everything, eh? And it was experimental, but he was one of the first Canadians, and he didn't want to do it. But I researched a little bit back then. I was on the internet, eh? I learned a little bit about computers, and I was on the internet. And I found out about nanotechnology. And nanotechnology was amazing. They could send a nano to do a certain thing. Like they'd send a nano with a very small bit of bee venom to the nerve of an eye, and release that venom, and a person could see again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. The stuff they can do now is incredible.